people will always have a plan for your time, for your money, for your even life. So I think some assertiveness, some level of assertiveness, some level of questioning what benefits certain things bring to you. Ni something I'd be very deliberate about in 2025.
In other words, setting boundaries and also saying no.
When we talk about finances, that thing of being disciplined, it's something that we don't talk about enough. There's a lot that happens in the society. There's a lot that happens even to your friend, because we are part of the society. Society is me and you. So I might have a problem. And because you love Kathleen very much, you don't want to see Kathleen suffer, you will help Kathleen. But has Kathleen put in measures to help you or to create a buffer? Umenipatia 20,000, you have lent me 20,000, nikwambia na kurudishia. Kathleen ataenda kiendanga. Utamtoa wapi?
Hello guys, Happy New Year. Welcome yet to another episode of the Behind the Curtain podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host. I'll just let them introduce themselves before we let you know what we're going to talk about today.
Ladies first, Kathleen. Ladies first.
Men before. Anyway, hi, my name is Kathleen.
Hi guys. My name is Owesh.
Thank you. So today we're going to talk about Njaanuary Chronicles or Njaanuary stories. And why in January? So for our international audience, those who may not understand Kiswahili, Nja represents, basically Nja means hunger. So it's sort of January because it sort of reflects our experiences, our challenges, our moments that make the start of the year memorable. And after now the festive seasons, the overspending, how now do we start over? So guys, I'm gonna ask you a few questions, but then before I start, I'd like to know who else feels like January has 100 days instead of 31.
It's a perspective, especially because sisi watu tulizaliwa January. Mnataka tuende.
Sisi wote, mimi sikuzaliwa January.
Okay. Sasa ukisema hanga nashindwa kai. Hapana, no.
Baba tumeanza kuita ninja.
I think it's a perspective because you need to be prepared. Mbona mnapatia January power mingi? It's like November, it's like August, it's like September. Why are you giving a lot of power to January? Okay, if you're giving it power, give it positive power. Let's talk about the beautiful things that come. A new clean slate, fresh start. Kwanza hiyo story ya njaa hapana. Let's just say it's a betrayal of the tongue.
Yeah, it's a slip of the tongue.
Yeah. But let's not give too much power to the negative side of a new month, a new start. Because I think most people, when they think about a new year, it's like you're starting all over again. But why didn't you start again in September? Why did you have to wait?
True.
Why did you have to wait? What's the difference that January will bring to the table that you probably couldn't provoke in September? But anyway, I feel like for the bigger chunk of people in the society, it's also another chance for them to begin again, maybe greatly this time, and see where the year takes them. I don't know. Me, I just think it's a perspective thing.
I like that take, and honestly, I think it's a safer take because we can't start living, hoping or looking into January as in January, But I want to say why it's in January is because historically, because of the mistakes of December, the mistakes of festive season, it's usually in January for many people, but it doesn't have to be. I think that's why we're here today, mainly, because it doesn't have to be in January as much as sometimes we go overboard in December. Sometimes you probably went overboard in December. That's why you're feeling it on the 67th of January right now. And you're having it tough. But as Kathleen said, I think it's a perspective thing and also a planning thing. If you plan your 2023, 2024 better, 2025 January wouldn't be this hard. If you're feeling it's hard, it's probably because there was some glitch in the planning of 2024 festive season especially.
I totally agree with you guys because it's true, Kathleen, when you say we should give it a positive like a positive name or a positive phase. To it for sure. So one word to describe your January morning.
Sorry, one word
to describe your January morning. It's a new year, 2025, in the month of January. How do you describe your January morning?
You know that song that goes, "Today's a new day."
Sunshine. Tunaanza
upya. We are whatever bad thing, whatever negative thing we've experienced in 2024. I think to some extent I will ascribe to the whole of the January thing, because I will take it as a challenge that the world has given me another chance for me to do some things maybe differently this time. So even as I think about January, there's sunshine, I'm seeing sunflowers, I'm seeing myself dancing, or the house or wherever I'll be. So it's like there's a happy coupling in my vision and in my description, basically.
Wow.
So my description of January.
One word.
One word. I think I'll use the two tunaanza upya. Because I feel like life can be very monotonous sometimes, and part of living is having those very many new starts. Yeah. So we have a week, it comes to an end, it's Monday. We have a day, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. So like those many, let me call them false starts, help you to, I don't know, I think the human psychology and human psyche when we are created is we want to start something at a position or a point where we feel like this is the start. So for the grander things, I think January gives you an opportunity to anza upya. So January to anza upya, man. It's for me to, what is that thing that I wanted to do, probably grand, that I want to actually start now, because I couldn't do it last year for whatever reasons, financial issues, relationship issues, depending on whatever that goal was or whatever I aimed to do and didn't do. But now I have a fresh start. I have the power to like motivate myself and say like this year I have to do it. Like I have to start this time. I know I failed last year, but this year is it for me. Like that false start, but it gives you it sort of sets the stage for you to achieve the things that you wanted to in life.
Yeah. Do you think maybe that's a superficial thing or a surface level thing that we ascribe to us as humans?
It is.
Because I tend to think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you want to start afresh, but you'll do things the same way, this time expecting things
to work differently.
In fact, when you're saying kwanza upya, I mean, my head is tunaanza tu tena, why? So you started again this January. You were expecting a different result or different results, but then again now you're waiting for 2025 January to do the same thing all over again, expecting the things will probably reoccur different or occur differently. Maybe it's a chance. I would say maybe it's a chance for you to recalculate what you didn't do right.
Exactly.
Go back to the drawing board, then come up with a strategy that will probably help you get to where you want, because you began with the end in mind. You know exactly where you want to be. So what's that one thing or things that maybe created an obstruction for you not to get to that point? So ni kuanza tena, but right now we are waisa. But so relationships, finances, whatever pillar of your life that's very significant, tunaanza tena. But now we are wiser. Yes. Yes. Tuanze tena tuanze upya. We know what we want.
We get the same thing.
We know what we want. Yes.
I feel like kwanza upya is a bit stronger because upya means new. You're starting new, meaning you've left the old behind.
But do we really leave the old behind?
Yeah. I think tusikue tu hata held kwa the words themselves, as much as like deep down in your mind you know that there's something you mentioned, recalculate, like where did I err, where did I do like something that ilizuia nifikie that which I wanted to do. I wanted to start my masters, why didn't I? I wanted to be in a very serious relationship. Why did I not get into that relationship? What is the problem? Like, is it that I need therapy? The problem, it's
actually calculate. On that note, if you may realize now I need to do therapy, you see unaanza tena, but this time unaanza na therapy. Hawanzi
mdomo.
So there's a difference. So you have like looked at where makosa ilifanyika and unaanza sasa upya.
I really love your points. I think mine would also be focus, because now I do a retrospect of what worked last year or what did not work, and then now it gives me sort of barabara, to go by my ear. And also I think another word that I would use to describe my January morning is reluctant. Why reluctant?
Interesting.
Tumetoka December.
Interesting.
Tumetoka December, tumechoka. You know, I'm in a position, sijui leo ni siku gani, sijui leo ni date gani. So, you sort of become reluctant because you've just finished the festivity. You have not yet adjusted to the fact that it's a new year. I need to put my things in order.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is it a case of you burying your head in the sand? Because January itakuja tu.
Itakuja
tu.
Yeah.
And then also, si tunaweza lamba tu glucose
Na tuendelee.
Why we being reluctant and it will come. See, we tukwe tu prepared so that when it comes, you already know that we are prepared. And there's that saying that says opportunity meets the prepared. So we know January is coming. We've prepared ourselves. We've gone through that phase where hatujui leo ni lini. But kuna siku tutashusha nyavu, and then you will wake up the next day very sober. Oh my goodness, January, you're so happy. Preparation, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like your perspective. I'm not saying it's a bad one. I'm just saying in hindsight, maybe it's a way of you burying your head in the sand.
Yeah.
And there's a whole mountain that you need to conquer
ahead of you.
Yeah, that's
true.
just
I agree.
Yeah.
So maybe why I want to get on this bus with you, reluctant, is because when you like put it as your word, it kind of gives you a buffer in insurance yako ya kufanya like to not push yourself enough. Like I feel it can be an excuse personally, like maybe the way I operate. If I give myself an insurance ya kutofanya kitu, nijipe tu an off, like any loophole in any of my plans, trust me, I'll use it. So sasa mimi that one I may not, but I get where you're coming from. Like I get how it can be ish, but nikijiekea mimi kitu kama hiyo, that's the end of it. Naanza Januari vibaya sana.
Nitaanza upya February.
Alafu sasa nianze kusema sasa 2026.
Ama tuseme sasa tuanze February sasa. January tulikuwa tunafanya pre-qualification. Yeah, whatever we want to do.
Joking. Before we start the year.
Sprint. Yeah.
Okay, now, January is usually termed as a month of reflection. What is that one lesson you learned last year that is helping you shape your year as we start?
Lessons ni mingi.
Yeah, I just need one.
What is that one?
Because the list is long anyway. The list is endless.
If there's anything that comes top of my mind right now is to put myself first. I am such an empathetic human being. So many times nimejeka kwa miguu za watu. Okay, how do you translate that in English? I have put myself in the shoes, not miguu. Yeah. There was no leg mahali for your statement. So I've nimejeka kwa shoes. I've put myself in the shoes of so many people. So much so that I have ended up forgetting what I want, what I need, and where I'm going to get myself, or how I'm going to get myself to that point. Yeah. Usually when I start the year, I have a roadmap. I may not have the exact setting of how that roadmap looks like, but I have an idea that I need to accomplish this at a certain time. Sinanga timelines. Niko tu tutafanya review September. Nione ili happen, and I'll write a list of things that I would want to achieve. But this year, I have neglected myself to a point where I would say I am a bit disappointed in myself. And so when we come to January 2025, one of the lessons that I want to act on is Kathleen comes first. Every other thing, tutaongea huko mbele, but what does Kathleen want? What does Kathleen need? Then from there, we'll do a recalculation, or we'll do a review of every other thing, or revisit any other thing. Yeah. So put myself first, whether it's relationship-wise, financially, socially, mentally, hizo malili zote, all of those lists. Number one, yes, yeah.
So there's something Waidaka says, which is my lesson. Waidaka keeps saying something about everyone has a plan for you. Everyone has a plan for your money. Everyone has a plan for your time. Everyone has a plan for your everything. Yeah. So maybe by nature, I think I am a very agreeable person because what's the big deal? Like, you tell me 200 place flani and I think I have the time and I can afford it. What's the loss?
Why not?
But no, like, I think that was my biggest lesson for 2024 in that people will always have plans. Like, you'll be invited to places, to birthdays, to graduations, to birthdays. Did I say birthdays? You'll be invited to very many places. Kwanza birthdays, unajua watu wa Januari na watu wa kutoka September to January, there are so many in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you will be invited to all those things, and then a lot of things will be happening in life. So there's this sale, there's the other, we're waiting for something. A lot is happening at the same time, and if you don't pause to think about what you want for yourself, chances are utakuwa umesema why not, such that when the time comes for you to do something for you, when you're like making out the decision, it's not someone else proposing, let's do this, I'ma do this, I'ma buy this. It's you saying, I want to do that. You won't be able to because you have already said so many why nots that you cannot go on with whatever it is that you want to achieve with yourself. I don't know how many too philosophical. I don't want to get very particular, but people will always have a plan for your time, for your money, for your even life. So I think some assertiveness, some level of assertiveness, some level of questioning what benefits certain things bring to you. Ni something I'll be very deliberate about in 2025.
In other words, setting boundaries and also saying no to some things.
Exactly. I was joking with someone saying that in 2025, I'll be saying no first, and then before niende kwa yes, like not yes towards no, like it's not okay, but it's no.
I
convince me.
Like office.
By the way, Wawesh, emails.
Except itakuwa ni no. Ati Wawesh, will you hold fort? No. The first answer itakuwa no. And then
you think about it.
We start thinking about it.
Mimi nakunyanga na goodies. Maybe I know how to bribe my way out of things.
Yeah, so I think for me, one of the lessons that I learned in 2024 that's helping me shape the start of the year is patience and resilience. Yeah, because I feel like I want to, well, as much as sometimes you can run out of patience, I feel like this year, the year 2025, I want to be more patient and I want to be more resilient in the things that I do, and also to say no more. Because saying no is much as an investment as saying yes to the things that you don't like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yes. Say again.
I preach. You want me to preach? Okay. So, saying no is much as an investment as saying yes to the things you don't like. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
It does make sense.
It does. I'm thinking, why is it usually so difficult for us to say no? Like, what's that thing that we're usually so afraid of? Yeah.
Confrontation is naturally not easy.
Yeah.
And saying no, you're being confrontational. You're telling someone like your idea is not something
I don't agree with it.
You're telling them I am not with you. Like it's not very easy naturally. It's something you have to learn and relearn.
A lot of times.
And yeah, sometimes it takes you even saying that no, alafu unaenda una feel vibaya uko peke yako ukisema I shouldn't have a mali nichukulia aje, but if it was needed, it was needful, then by all means it was good for you.
Because you also have to explain why you're saying no, It's like when someone asks something out of you or something from you, they expect you to say yes. So when you say no, they want to know
why.
Why? What's that other thing that you're better?
Like you owe them an explanation.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And yet you cannot continue people pleasing. Yeah, because sometimes it drains you a lot.
Yes. Preach. You're finishing my sentences.
So when January is a year, normally when it's a tendency and it's sort of a culture, when the year starts, we jot down our goals, things that we want to achieve. Do you think or do you believe it's usually good to start the year with big goals, or January is just a year to reset and maybe recharge, relax? Not a year. I've realized I said a year, a month.
That's a good one.
Well, so let me go back to ile point yangu ya. So false starts, many starts, like life gives us stats, many stats. And maybe personally, like my personal opinion is I feel it's in order because there's that thing nitaanza gym January. You see, like especially gym na church. Zinakuanga zimejaa vibaya sana January, like there's usually an extension ya katent hapo.
Na watu wa sukari na pizza na nini. Nimekula jam.
I know, like yeah, so so in order to effect change in your life you have to start at some point. And naturally ni ngumu sana uanze kusema kuanzia leo Tuesday saa 8 like 2 pm nitaacha kukula, for example nitaacha sugar, like it's difficult. Most people will say kuanzia next week, kuanzia next month. So like na feel from next year, from January next year ama from January sasa in 2025 is when I'll start ABCD. I'll start going to the gym, which is good and it works for some people, in as much as for many people inakuanga tu ni kujidanganya tunajidanganya, but it works for some people because some people start at that January, nitaanza from January 1st naanza kwenda gym na naanza na it becomes a culture, and if going to the gym was really right for them, then like they'll have started something good for them for their lives. From January nitaanza kusevia gari yangu, nitaanza kusevia gari fulani January, like you see after salo ya Jan kuje ana save. So it gives you a start, like a proper structured start, beginning to something. So yes, I feel like it's okay, and in order to have written goals, to have written ambitions of the things that you want to achieve in 2025 by the end of January, like make sure for most people like myself, my toxic era, nilikuanga nasema mimi siandiki, naandika aje, why should I be writing goals, like I have them in my head. And this year I decided, well, why not? And I wrote, I think 2 things, and one of them was to make sure niko na passport, and I did. Like I forced myself to make sure nimeipata. Sasa kitu imebaki ni kuenda nini across kuvuka one great sea, kuvuka one great sea, so to Tanzania na UG, like but you see, like it's good when it's written, and some people what to spiritual they say, I think there's a verse,
when you
write your goals and your visions on stone tablets so that all may see. So write it will inspire you. And the previous episode I think we spoke about having a vision board. So if that works for you and you feel that's what you want, you really have to do it. Like just get some pieces of paper. I'm do an online one, from your laptop. Right now there's so many things that you can do.
So many avenues that you can take advantage of to create your own vision, your own vision board. On that question I would say, know what you want, but have a deadline attached to it, not when to start. Usiseme ndenda gym January, say I want to lose 10 kgs by March. Then now break down, that's the bigger vision. I want to lose 10 kgs by March. Then break it down into smaller achievable activities that you can do that will get you to that point. So that strategic thinking will now force you to do the small things, because it's easy for you to accomplish the small tasks. But now when you say I want to start saving for a car in January, it's going to be very difficult, because probably your dream car is 3M. You're starting with 700k. At that point it doesn't seem achievable. But when you say I want to drive this car by June, right now I have 700, so now you can even quantify it and say by end of January I should have probably 1 point something. Then what can I do to ensure that I have 1 point something by end of January? So now you start visualizing the day-to-day tasks that will get you to that goal. It's actually something in a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You begin with the end in mind, then set up some small goals that will get you to that point. So how I do it, I will write the things that I want to achieve, but I will not say I want to start by this date or by that date. So I will say by September is when I'm going to do a review of all these things. So in September now, I at the back of my mind, I know by September I need to have accomplished at least 70%. And sometimes I don't even remember the list, but I know I need to do this and this and this and this. So when you break it down mentally into the small achievable goals, you'll realize, oh, for my career, I wanted to do this year. So what do I need to do? I need to attend certain networking events. I need to engage in more speaking opportunities. I need to interact with this kind of person. I need to embody, even start visualizing the kind of person that will have achieved those goals. The Nancy in September, you start seeing her. How does she dress? Where does she go? How does she speak? Then now you start the law of assumption. Now you actually see it, and then now you start embodying that person. So what activities does this Nancy do from day to day? So by the time you get to September and you're doing a review, you're actually just ticking because you have achieved almost everything. And then the ones that you don't achieve, now you ask yourself, why? What happened? What are some of the things that I need to learn? Is it a matter of skill set? Is it a matter of probably getting more people in my circle? Is it a matter of probably knowing more people? Is it a matter of removing certain people in my circle? So it gives you a broader overview of what went right and what went wrong. So when you have both ends of the spectrum, now you'll realize, for this one, I need to leverage on certain strengths that I have so that I can eliminate some of the weaknesses. And you'll realize, especially when it comes to career and relationships and finances, you'll realize, I want to save X amount of money. So I'll start by saving 1,000 bob January 1st, because I can see by the time tunafika September, I will have that X amount of money by September, So January 1st inakuja. Una realize, oh, I haven't done household shopping. So you have splurged a lot back at home. So even now, your budget now becomes very, very fluid, because you're actually taking money out of your account. And then that's the thing, you become so indisciplined, because it's not something that you can sweep under the rug. You have to pay your rent. There's certain bills, the ABCs, you have to conquer that budget, So now you end up spending so much, and that's why you experience the 90 days of January. So by the time you're getting to 31st, which by the way is my birthday, by the time you're getting to 31st, you don't even have a present for Kathleen. You don't even have a present for Kathleen, because pesa inatoka wapi, pesa inatoka wapi. And then now you start realizing that I can't even have that money by September. If we are to 31st January and I haven't even started, that 1,000 that I had said, I don't even have it right now. How am I going to achieve those goals? But if you flip it and say, I need to have this amount of money by September, so come what may, I have to ensure that I have that money by September. So even if I start in March, I know by September I need to have that amount of money. Again, it's not too late to start. Things happen, life happens. As long as you know what you want and where you're going, just start. That's the thing, just start.
I totally concur with you guys, because I mean, it's important to have your goals written down at the start of the year, but then make them small actionable steps. I mean, things that are realistic, that you can easily achieve. They don't have to be big, but just ensure that they're actionable, right?
Yeah, they said that what makes the difference between a wish list or a wish and a goal is one time frame. Like, you remember that thing we used to do in primary, like SMART, specific, measurable,
is it achievable,
realistic, not time bound. Yes, like have all those things. Otherwise, you only wish.
So guys, we're gonna take a short break before we resume shortly.
Welcome back, good people. And before we continue with our discussion for today, I want us to have a kidogo fun segment. So, our question today is
indeed fun. It's indeed a serious fun.
Nitoe hair band
serious fun.
So, my question today is, where would you go if you were invisible for a day?
For a day, if I were invisible.
If you were invisible for a day and could go anywhere, where would you go?
I would go to people's minds, everyone's mind, to read their minds.
Okay, no, I have to add more caveats.
Also
you can't go to people's minds.
Like, but I'm invisible. You can't see me entering.
It's like Nancy, but we can't see Nancy. You're invisible.
You're somewhere, but you can't be seen.
State House.
And why? Why would you go to State House?
No, I take it back. Kathleen, you can go first.
No, thinking. That's a good one. Where would I go?
It has to be a place.
Where would you go? A place. Maybe something happened that you like.
For a day.
Yep. You were invisible for a day. Where would you go? Like Harry Potter style, you had that cloak of invisibility. What would you do? Where would you go?
I would spend the day with Elon Musk. And I will choose the day. Do I get to choose the day that I become invisible?
Yeah.
I'll choose the day when he's probably having engagements with the president and talking about the economic state of the country, something like that. Him as a business person, I would want to hear him speak, listen to him, get to know what are his thoughts, and particularly what's coming in the future, because I feel like he has an upper hand to control some of the big things that will happen economically, given that he has earned the trust of the president and he's probably using it as a currency right now. That's a biased approach for me and my people. But if I want to do it for the civil good of the people of the world, I would also spend time with him. I mean, he comes across as someone with deep depths of knowledge and information, and I would want to get a glimpse of that.
I think I would want to go to Greece. I've seen on social media different, beautiful sceneries that are found in Greece. So I would want to go there just to see for myself and have some good time.
Invisibly.
Yeah.
Hey, then you'll have so much fun.
I do. I do. Nature. Interesting. To be specific.
Oh, okay. So you'll go to like Santorini is in Greece?
Yes.
Santorini.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, wow.
You can take a photo there. Yeah. You know.
Because I'm invisible. No one will know. That's
why I'm invisible, so that I go enjoy it for myself. No one is supposed to know. Okay. I mean, it's for myself.
Interesting.
That's nice.
It's for myself.
Okay, and you were she the one who's asking
you don't want to like inama kidogo ili alafu nipitie story. So I think right now current state of mind is I'm thinking about watu wa scholarship and stuff. So how do people get those things? So what I would do is I would sit kwa deliberations. You see when like candidates have been interviewed and all that, like when they're doing deliberations, I would want to like sit somewhere in a corner there and just listen to what they're looking at and what things people are doing to change the world, because I think a lot of people when wanakuanga hapo, the people who have like great things they're doing in the world, I want this scholarship, I deserve it because I am doing what for my community in Turkana, and another one in Malaysia, another one I would like to see those deliberations and
do you sometimes think that no one has a bad story? Everyone deserves it. You come from a marginalized community. You're a person living with disability. You not grow up with parents. Like if I was someone who's selected to choose me, I will just give everyone. Kila mtu apewe afanye kenye. Maybe that's why I'm not there.
I know.
Empathy. I mean, why mbona nikunyime nipe huyu? Like what's that determining factor that would probably propel me to choose this one and then leave this other. It's a whole lot of things to consider, and I like that actually, to get into the minds of these people and know what's that thing that they look for.
What makes you tick?
What makes you tick? You say you have received 70,000 applications and you have to choose 100. How do you choose one
and not picky
out of 700 people?
And you're not
it's like imagine. Let's just visualize it. Hata turudi chini kidogo. 7,000 applications.
And you need 100
7,000 people wame line up hapa. And you have to choose out of every 70
or even 2.
Choose one. Out of every 70 people, choose one. What's that thing that you look for? It's interesting and weird and all the other words all together, wrapped up with a very beautiful ribbon on top. But I would want I would want to know what's that thing that you look out for, because now it will give people leverage. They're looking for someone who's like this. But then now people might lie and say,
of course, people may craft stories towards that. But
But it's also interesting to be that person who chooses.
I don't think I would want to be.
Yeah, same.
I would have
paradox. Is it called paradox of choices? You have 1,000 choices and you have to choose one. I'd be left with a lot of like overthinking. Nataka guilt.
Because the thing is, most of these people you can't see them. You're judging them based on what they've written
on paper.
So someone might be so deserving, but they haven't been able to present a very, 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 very convincing article. So now you end up with someone who has convinced you by paper. But then when you get to meet this person, you realize, oh my God, I should have gone with this other person. It's a platform I wouldn't want to find myself.
Back to you in studio.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back, guys, to our Njaanuary Chronicles. So the last discussion that we're having was about achieving, or rather writing down your goals that are achievable, breaking them down into steps that you can really achieve. So I think what I would love to know from my fellow co-host, or my co-host, that's the right word, right?
Friends.
As we
are whatever you want us to be.
Vile unataka.
Lakini hiyo hapana.
Si vile nataka. Nikitaka.
Usitake.
Okay. So have you ever had goals at the start of the year, or maybe last year, January in 2024? Did you have goals that you probably nailed, or you failed terribly to achieve?
Yes, I do. I do.
Please
share. I have of both, and I use the simple ones. I'm wasting a judge now. So I wanted to get my passport, and I did. Nilingoja miezi kadhaa, by the way, like I waited, but it still came. And one that failed, I was supposed to buy myself something for my birthday. Nikaanza kusave, nika-download chums tu vizuri, nikaanza kusave. And tukafika Feb, nikaeka once. Tukafika March, nikasema nitajazilia ile ya Feb. Nitasave yote, nitaweka mara mbili ya March, ya Feb na ya March in March. Then March nikaeka moja, nikasema lakini April sinaweza shikanisha Juni mbili tu, sija skip sana. And that was the end of the story. Na ni hivyo ndo sasa niliwithdraw 10k yangu ama sijui whatever amount that was. Nika enjoy, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted for my birthday. My birthday is in November, so like I had a lot of time. Nilikuwa naanza mapema, nikuanza ati makosa ilifanyika.
We are waiting for you. We are waiting for your time.
Na feel vizuri sio mimi pekee nilifanya hivyo. Ningejudge vibaya.
Misery loves company.
We listen and we don't judge.
So for me, me usually during my birthday time, I don't like being in the country. I don't know. It's a tradition that I have been accustomed to from when I started earning some good money that would take me somewhere. So at some point I was working in Ethiopia, but not in Addis. I was working in a place called Jijiga. It's like the Isili of Huko. Yes, so I really admired Addis, but sikuwa napata time ya kuenjoy Addis sana. And I had always wanted to spend hata kama ni siku 2-3 in Addis, nizunguke tu, get to experience that city. So that's what I did for this year. I had purposed, and I'm so happy that I was able to do it, and I went alone. That's for Kathleen to do something like that alone. If you're in my close circle, I actually got out of my comfort zone to do that. So that's something I tap myself in the back and say, good job, Kathleen. If you can do that, then you can do other things. Kwenye makosa ilikujia ni chums. Let me tell you people, discipline is very, very important.
It is for sure.
When it comes to money. You know that thing of the 52-week challenge. So what I will do is, unafaa kukuwa na, see, it comes to a certain amount at the end of the year, but if you can save extra senior. So me in my head, at the beginning of the month, nilikuwa na more than half. So nikasema, let me buy myself time. Nikaeka yote chums. And then you can easily withdraw your money there. Maybe I hadn't considered that part of locking it. And then because kuna some penalties, utasikia uchungu when you want to withdraw. Hapana, no, it doesn't. Si lazima. So nimeweka pesa nikajua, I'm sorted up until July. Now, when we came to July, for us at home, we had a celebration at home.
Yeah.
And then I had to chip in some money there. Most of my cash was not accessible because now at some point in the year, nilikuwa realized I can actually lock some cash somewhere. And then there was a place where my money was and I didn't want to guza it because I was saving it for something else. So which was the safer option? Iko juice nikafanya nini, nikatumia kwa kitu yenye hata hairudishi pesa, then I had to start consumption. So now I had to start fresh. But you're starting when? You're starting in August. So now I was very conflicted. Is it a must I start?
So
what I did is I put in a certain, I think I put in like 20K.
Nice.
But then even 20,000 against this X amount of money that I wanted to have at the end of the year. I mean, your equation I balance. Why to your 20,000 yangu? That money you have cannot solve the problem.
When bad advice. Bad.
That's not that's not what we are advocating.
Yeah, true.
But mimi hapo makosa ilifanyika sasa pale kwa chums sai. Naona tu red. Nikifungua, in fact, I avoid that as much as I can. Because every time I go there, I feel so bad. Because naona tu red. But then again, tumesema tunaanza tena January, so hopefully hii time ingine I will do better. I will do. Hapo makosa ilifanyika na makosa ilikuwa yangu.
Ni wewe ulijiletea.
It's crazy and talk about that. Or to create a buffer. Na 20,000 yako, and then I'll come back with some stories that will make you be very sympathetic. Those convincing stories, na tuendelee. So now that thing of being disciplined, I usually say, if you feel like you can be indisciplined when it comes to money, please make it inaccessible. Lock it. No, sisikie vibaya, lock it, So at that point, even if I tell you sina, actually kweli sina. But if I tell you sina na najua in like 3 minutes, a few seconds nimetoa pesa kwa bank nimekutumia. There's nothing we are doing here, especially for money, and we'll probably talk about this at some point. Those things that hinder us from achieving our financial goals. One of the things is discipline. Na hapo, mimi that's a lesson that I have learned in 2024.
I have 3. Number 1.
Makosa ama achievement?
Makosa. So I remember last year when the year started, I said this year, sitakunywa sukari. Sitatumia sukari.
Sukari unamaanisha
ya pressure.
Pia mrija inakuanga na I'm not usually
sugar. Anything sugary.
Anything sugary.
Yeah.
Like ya kwa chai.
So ya kwa chai, like.
Okay.
No,
because of health, yeah. So, well, I tried to stick to it for some time. Then I found myself back at it again. Yeah. No, but I'm proud.
Na sukari wewe.
Vijiko kama 3. Sasa hiyo akona mandazi.
Usiseme ni ngapi. Sicho. Don't ban.
I want.
Yeah, because we are desk mates, so she clearly knows how many. Yeah, so sukari. But I'm proud of myself because right now I'm at it vizuri sana. Like when I say I'm at it, I mean I'm on that journey. I'm not able to.
Good job.
Number 2, gym.
Yako ni ya health issues. In fact, do you have an accountability partner? Just sasa unaona kama mimi najua nakula mandazi. If I had known, ili ningepea waweshi.
Actually, not really even health. Like there's this pressure on social media that sugar is not good, sugar consumption is not good. It's not an advice that I received from the doctor that you should stop taking.
Oh my goodness,
it's social media pressure. But I think it's important. And then from my own research, yeah, it's a good pressure. From my own research, I confirmed that it's good pressure. Yeah, the benefits are really.
Okay, interesting. The second one?
Gym.
Sasa wewe unaenda gym?
Hey, I've never been. Let me not embarrass myself, but anyway, it's something I didn't stick to. It's important to keep fit.
Wacha ni whisper.
Nilianza kwa nyumba. Nilianza kwa nyumba. Siku 2-3. Ya 3 I told myself I'll do it tomorrow. When tomorrow arrived, nitaifanya kesho. Yeah, until we're here today.
Lakini why hata ukwe
Why?
I mean, why would you are well?
No,
endowed.
No, exercise is part of keeping healthy. Yeah.
So did you go back to it? Well, it's one of my goals this year. Pressure from social media?
No. It was something intentional that I was intentional about. No one convinced me. I decided it was a personal decision.
I don't mean download home workout. I also downloaded home workout and I did it for 5 days. Nilikuwa nafanya push up alafu siku ya 5 nikapata wageni. And then I didn't have the space to do my push ups and star jumps in the house. Na sasa ilishia hapo.
Mimi kusema kweli tu gym. Mimi unless mnipeza ku gain weight.
Kunazo.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing we were saying about goals. You know, sometimes we have so many things that to make as goals, but hatujaweka implementation structure fiti. Like, you know how in a proper project you have to show how you will implement certain things. Like you have said, my project is I want to take what food to what school. So how will you be implementing? So I will tafuta 5 drivers. I will get local community members to do ABCD. So apply the same kwako. Ati natakanga kufanya home workout. So how will I be doing it? Nitakuwa nifanyia kwa my bedroom. Sasa tukiwa na wageni, as in like have a proper system, a structure that will allow you to achieve the things that you want to do, to implement the things that you want to, like liwalo na liwe, because sometimes life happens. I feel like life happens.
And also even on that note, don't aim too high. Like now in your case, unaweza sema nafanya 2 push-ups 3. But kesho utafeel leo hata niongeze
moja.
Ingine hata niongeze ingine. By the time you because now you have gotten to this limit. You have conquered this limit. Then now automatically the way we are wired, you want to move on to the next level. Like that. Yeah. Even for chums, that's a lesson. I shouldn't have put in the 50%. I should have probably started with because there's a structure that Chums has provided. So me, I was trying to beat the system. You know, I should have done the 1,000, the 2,000, the what. By the time we were getting to like August, hata hiyo 20,000 ilikuwa nayo hapo, ningekuwa najua hii hata inamaliza hii kitu yote, you know. So that's something that I've learned.
Wow. I think I was to get to my 3rd one. It's actually Chums. I won't explain how, but it's Chums.
Chums ime.
No, it's a very good app.
It's a good app.
It's a good app.
And I think why people are mentioning it, why people are mentioning it is because inakusaidianga it guides your savings. Like it's one of those things that give you structure in terms of saving. Kama saving ni it for you, it guides you. So ulikuwa unataka kusavia nini lakini give us the tea. Give us.
Yes, that's a story for another day.
Juice.
It's all right.
It's a story for another day. Come to my desk, I'll give you the tea na mandazi. So guys, we've just concluded the festivity seasons. And for some people, not for all, but for some, January can be a tough month financially. What is that one top strategy or a top tip that you use to go through January on a budget?
For the bills that I can't do away with in January, I do away with them in December.
Yes, preach.
Before I start the festivities. In fact, I usually pay those bills this week before we go to the 19th, date 19th, 20th, before we get to that week of 17th, 16th there. If there's rent that needs to be paid, make sure I have finished that off for January. If there's any bill that I really can't avoid in January, I finish that off in December, such that ile pesa imebaki. Ile pesa, when you say I am liquid, that's liquidity. Na kwa nikijua nimemalizana na zile vitu zitanisumbua January, sio kukaa nione niko na pesa mingi, pewa unataka nini kisha mom wants what, here is the money. And then when you get to January, you realize unalia peke yako. By the time you're getting to the second week, you're even hiding from people because even you are ashamed. So me, that's a tip that has really worked for me. Before I get to the splurging, the kutoka kwa nyumba na charger na jacket, before I get to that point, I take care of what I really can't avoid in January.
Well, for me, I think more or less the same, because the first thing I do, pia mimi, is make sure that the most essential bills, rent, Wi-Fi, water, steamer, are paid in December, such that where we are, like the 67 days of January, I know that all I need to do is sustain myself, like niishi tu siku ya mwisho. Secondly is the good thing is there is usually like kidogo pressure generally in January than in December, my festive season. So kulikuanga na phrase tukiwa high school, kwanga sema bamba rende kufa solo. Bamba rende kufa solo. Like you sometimes you find yourself doing things just because of the people to wakuite kiongozi, like you're just doing it for the peer pressure, for the guys, for the bros, for the magalde waseme
wawesh na waresh.
But the problem is sometimes when you do that, ukibamba rende in December, January utakufa solo, because the pressure itakuwa chini. People have started going back to work, people are back to paying school fees, back to doing a lot of stuff like the usual day-to-day stuff. And kama ulijiwaste kwa hapo ukilia peke yako, and that's how you start getting into debt. Hivyo ndo unaanza kafuliza hapa, beshte pale. That's how people wanasemanga alikuwa cut off in January, because by date 6 alikuwa shakopa na amezima simu, amedisappear. Nasema tu ni cut off, lakini endelehepa na like so I think a lot of the mistakes, the January mistakes, are as a result of December mistakes. Like December sort of shapes January.
It's true.
Yeah,
true.
So it's really important to plan ahead. So yes, a word to describe it is planning ahead.
Plan ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So guys, as we wind down, I want to hand it over to my colleagues just to give parting shots. And before that, guys, you can type on the, not really on the chat box, but on the comment section, the effects of using Zoom. So on the comment section, guys, we'd really love to know what your January stories are, what your January Chronicles are. So just let us know on the comment section, and I promise we will read them in our next episode, because we want to engage with you. So just andika tu hapo chini ile kitu yenye unajua tunaweza soma in public. Yeah. So I think Waweru, you can give us your parting shot as we wind down.
I think I feel like we have said a lot of things, but if you got nothing out of all this, is it's okay to dream. I think a lot of people who have gone before us, some who are still here with us, who may speak into the power of dreaming. And I think January gives you a perfect opportunity for that. This is the month where you get to sit down and say, I want to achieve the following things before December. So we all have ambitions, we all have goals, we all have things we want to achieve. Write them down. Think about them, like critically think about them. And if you can, write them down. And then in December, you'll be able to maybe look back and see where you failed, you'll be able to understand your journey better. So by all means, dare to dream and document that dream.
Oh, wow. Kathleen?
I think I'll go back to what I said when we started. And it's also something that we advocate for here at Centonomy, your mindset. So when you're thinking about January, don't think about the 90 days of poverty, the 90 days of hunger, 90 days of sadness, and all other negative thought that will come with the word January, Maybe it's time for you this time to shift that mindset and start thinking about the 90 days of greatness, the 90 days of me dreaming, daring to dream, the 90 days of me beginning greatly, the 90 days of me achieving, rather starting to achieve the things that I've always wanted to achieve. It's a new chapter altogether. It's a new page in your book. But maybe this time, why don't we begin greatly? Why don't we do things differently in a very good way? Why don't we shift our mindsets? Why don't we operate from a mindset, an abundant mindset? Don't say this is a month where now I'm going to really struggle up until the 31st of January. Why don't you say this is the month that I will rest, that I will be, in fact, my word for 2025, softness. When I talk to God, I tell God, me, I'm going to be your baby girl in 2025.
Oh, wow.
Amen.
Me, I don't want
God's favorite.
That song of Kushusha Nyavu, me, I don't want to catch all the bad and good things, and then the rest of my year, in hiyo mwaka ya kusieve. Okay, this is good. This is because you've caught everything all together. So maybe this is a year for you to do things differently. Shift that mindset, and maybe that thing that you've always wanted to achieve, maybe when you do that, when you just tweak your strategy this way, maybe that's how you're going to achieve it. And it's very possible.
I agree with you, Kathleen. That's really powerful. Yes, so guys, my parting shot, we have come from the year 2024, and definitely you'll be seeing in people's updates, maybe on the social media platforms, people maybe talking about whatever it is that they achieved, and you're there, maybe kuna kitu you did not achieve, and you feel sort of, sasa mimi, as in, when will I ever achieve this goal? Don't worry, this is a new year to start fresh. This is the year of greatness. You still have time to achieve whatever it is that you'd like to achieve. So so that's it for today, for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe, remember to like as well, and tell a friend to subscribe, and also engage with us on the comment section. Thank you so much. Happy New Year once again. Bye-bye.
Bye.